hand on my heart, the guy was getting rid of it because it gave him PTSD because it was so unreliable. He said, every time I get in this car now, I'm wondering what light is going to come on next or what is going to break. That is how bad it had got. You just can't help but think that they've engineered these things to put the light on after 50, 60, 70,000 miles or whatever for pure parts creation. Well, hello, Kev Knight here from Vision Prestige. Welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon. It's extremely hot. I've got my 50 on, so don't worry, I'll be all right for a while. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for watching the last video. Hopefully that will make sense if it is the last video about the We Buy Any Car situation we had. This is going to be a bit of a continuation on from that, but not because of that, because of a completely different reason. But we've just had, over the past few weeks, we've just had some scenarios which I just want to put to you because quite frankly, it is one of the biggest worries about our job going forward over the next 5 years. And it's starting to worry me more and more, and every car dealer that I'm speaking to is starting to talk about the same thing. Oh, it's a bit better here in the shade, isn't it? It's a bit random just standing here randomly. What I want to talk about, our motor dealers' inability to pretty much do our job to a good level because of how bad modern cars are. And I'm gonna have to give you a couple of scenarios because it sounds like I'm just moaning, but literally I can give you 3 examples where we have been unable to either sell people a car or bring in their part exchange because of the fundamental horrendousness of knowing that that car is going to fail. 90% is going to fail in the next 3 months, potentially 6 months when you've got to warrant the car. It's so hot. I think I've got to get in a car. Still hot and sweaty, but let's do it in here. So the first example I want to show you is, I'll put some pictures up now. It is a lovely Range Rover Evoque. It's a newer shape. It's done 76,000 miles, and the guy that had this car came in here because he wanted to buy one of our cars. Now the problem instantly, as you will potentially have seen if you saw the last video we made, this car had a 2-litre Ingenium engine in it, which we are not willing to take on. They are too unreliable. They are potentially the most unreliable engine on the market at this time. We don't want to retail it. We don't want the phone call in 3 days when it breaks down. I don't want the heartache. I don't want the stress. I didn't want the car. And genuinely, hand on my heart, the guy was getting rid of it because it gave him PTSD because it was so unreliable. He said, every time I get in this car now, I'm wondering what light is going to come on next or what is going to break. That is how bad it had got. So luckily, we managed to still sell this guy a car, and we did manage to get his car, how should we put this? We managed to get his car placed elsewhere for the exact amount that we bought it on part exchange for, so we didn't make any money, and we did sell him a car. So yes, we sold a unit, but arguably in this trade, the best deals are when you get a nice part exchange, because it isn't like going to buying a car from auction. You get to drive it, you get to look at the history, you get to meet the owner. Part exchanges are where it's at in this job. I mean, We Buy Any Car turn around and say, you know, you'll get a better deal if you don't part exchange. You definitely get a better deal if you've got a nice car to part exchange, 100%. So that was the first scenario that we have had where an awful modern vehicle has stopped us pretty much from being able to do our job wholeheartedly. The second scenario I want to put to you is going to involve, do you know what, it's so hot in here. There's only like 2 weeks a year where you wish you had air conditioning in your building. This is one of them. I'm hot. Hold on. Oh, that's better. Do you know what? I can't afford air conditioning for work, but I can afford air conditioning in this car. So we're going to stay in here for a minute. So the second scenario that I'm going to put to you is, we had a call literally this week from a lovely guy, subscriber of the channel, that wanted to buy one of our cars, and he wanted to part exchange his Ford Fiesta. Now, a little bit of background, his Ford Fiesta was a 2015 car, done 41,000 miles. He'd had it from brand new with full service history. Initially, it was everything that you would almost like it to be. Then we HPI it and we find out that it's got a 1 litre Ecoboost in it. So then we sort of enlighten him on the fact that not only has his car got a wet belt in it, which he had no idea what one was, it was due to be changed on time. Because when they first came out, Ford put a 15-year lifespan on them belts, then they quickly cut it down to 10. So we told him that that was due a wet belt. Now, he didn't know what a wet belt was. We explained it to him. We said that in reality, to us, even us in the trade, that's going to cost us £1,000 to get that wet belt done. We advised him what it was, and then we sort of said, look, we've got to chop your part exchange valuation down by £1,000. But that wasn't where it finished for me, because we were sort of like, okay, where has the car been serviced? Then he told us that the car had only been serviced by his local garage. That's a big problem, because if that local garage hasn't used Ford oil, it hasn't got the additive in the oil that stops the wet belt from breaking up, which means there is every potential that even though you replace that belt, is that engine full of tiny little bits of sort of fragments of rubber drifting around all the journals and everything like that, that even after you've done the belt and drained the oil, could potentially still have enough little bits in around the engine to block up that oil strainer and cause oil starvation down the road. So then again, that was almost another car that we didn't want. And once we told him we had to chop his value £1,000 for the belt, not only did he get really upset about it, not with us, but just in the reality that it had that, he said, right, I'm going to have to make some phone calls around and sort of see what I need to do about this. About an hour later, he phoned us back, sort of not apologising, but sort of confirming that we were right and that he'd had prices quoted between £2,700, must have been at a Ford main dealer, to replace this belt, to £1,800. So he said the only thing he can really do is keep the car. He couldn't afford to get the belt done, ideally, and that he was just going to keep driving it. So, you know, that was another example where we didn't do a deal because of the horrendousness of someone else's build quality. But it goes on there. Another example is, oh, look at this, look, I found a little shady spot, the aircon's on, what a dream. So another example is that we had someone phone up, another subscriber, wanting to sell us his car. Lovely, mega, that's exactly what we want. Then he proceeds on to say that he's got a Nissan Qashqai with the 1.2 turbo Dig T thing in it. And that engine now falls in the same category pretty much as the 1.2 Puretech Citroen Peugeot thing, which everyone's complaining about piston rings going wrong, unreliability, blah, blah. You know, people are making YouTube videos about how bad these engines are. Now, please, if any of these subjects that I've said in this video you have experienced, I would like to know, because I sort of, even though people are putting it all on the internet, you sort of only really get the bad stuff on the internet. I know that. No one puts anywhere I've had a Nissan Qashqai forever out of a 1.2 and it's amazing. But the thing that I'm now getting at is everything on our forecourt, if it isn't German or something like that, is one of the ones which is pretty much 2015 or backwards. The Jag XF we've got has got the 2.2 engine in it, which is a brilliant engine. They'll do 300,000 miles and everyone is starting to know it. If that was a year newer, that would have a 2-litre Ingenium engine in it and we wouldn't want it. It seems like 2015 is a little bit of a sweet spot for reliability to sort of still have been okay-ish. I know it's a grey area, but sort of ish. These cars are now 10 years old. And I'm just wondering what on earth is going to happen in another 5 years' time, because we're sort of holding on to the reliable ones. And in 5 years' time, is it almost going to be like there's only the bad ones available? Do you sort of see what I mean? So now what I want to say, the last one is even more upsetting than probably the rest of them, because the last one that we've had recently, and potentially you might have had this over the last few years, we've had it a few times recently, involves Mercedes-Benz, which upsets me because, you know, you'd like to think that Mercedes-Benz don't build stuff, they don't engineer stuff to fail. But I'm starting to think these have done exactly that, because anyone watching this video that has even been driving a 2.2, 2.1, whatever you want to call it, diesel Mercedes-Benz over the past 3, 4, potentially 5 years, will have had the NOx sensor fail. Now, when that NOx sensor fails, it doesn't make any difference to the way that the car drives. All it does is put the engine management light on the dash. But when you've got an engine management light on your dash, you don't want it on. So you know you've got to get the car fixed. So I feel like Now these NOx sensors, if you were going to take your car to Mercedes-Benz to get this diagnosed and replaced, they're going to want 200 quid to plug into it to diagnose it. They're going to want 500 quid for the sensor. They're going to want another 200 quid to fit it. Plus that, it's going to cost you over £1,000 to get your car from running normally with an engine management light on to running normally without an engine management light on. You just can't help but think that they've engineered these things to put the light on after 50, 60, 70,000 miles or whatever for pure parts creation. There was so much demand for this part recently that there was a load of Mercedes-Benz sitting in car dealerships which people couldn't fix because Mercedes ran out of sensors and there was literally no supply of them. So you couldn't fix the problem. So there was just a load of Mercedes-Benz dead everywhere. You know, that's unheard of. So it definitely is a random one. Let's just get back to work. Woo! So I can hear you, Kev. What are you looking for from me on this video? I suppose ideally what I'm looking for from you is I would like to hear any of you that are watching this video that have got a 2016 car onwards, that have done 100,000 miles in it. It hasn't skipped a beat. It's been really reliable. What have them cars been? Because at this exact moment, the future in this trade is a little bit bleak and potentially a little bit electric, which I'm not up for at the moment either. So I hope that's not too negative. I just want to say thanks for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button if you like what's going on. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that notifications button. I think what one's going to be next? It could be I mean, we've done a few videos recently. It could be a paint correction video on a local, I don't know. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you on the next one. Bye 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 bye.